becoming my theme song. It's becoming my theme song. Happy Memorial Day, my U.S. brothers and sisters. It is Monday, May 29th, 2023, 6:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Woo! One more time! Keep it going, keep it going. Happy birthday to Tony Michael. Tony Michael, my brother from another mother, co-host of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Big shout out to Tony Michael. It's his big 44th birthday today. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus the last couple of weeks because of he's been very busy. There might be a show next week. There might be. Two Dudes, usually Monday nights at 6. One more time! This is episode 213 of McRae Live. I've done 212 of these suckers. And we're talking my top 5 Halloween characters not named Michael Myers, not named Dr. Loomis, not named Laurie Strode, and not named Jamie fucking Lloyd. It's too easy. It's too easy. What's your favorite character? Dr. Loomis. Let's make it fun. Let's make it fun and let's make it interesting. And so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight on the show. And yes, I'm excited to talk about this. I thought this was kind of fun because, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes to Halloween, what the hell? I mean, what is there to talk about when it comes to Halloween? Unless there is something new to discuss, what can we talk about that hasn't already been discussed 3,721 times? So I thought, I don't think I've talked about, we've talked about Loomis, we've talked about Michael, we've talked about Jamie, we've talked about Laurie, but maybe we should give some love to some of the other characters that are not named Michael, Loomis, Laurie, and Jamie. Why not? That makes kind of a good episode. We'll check in on the Billy campaign as well. And again, a reminder, because I had somebody over on my Many Things page today kind of being a bit of a dick and was like, because I made my post about how we're doing so well in the campaign. And they're like, yeah, we know, like, it's been said a million times. Well, yeah, in case you haven't noticed, we're in the middle of a major crowdfunding campaign. So I'm going to be talking about it a lot. That's if I don't talk about it, nobody talks about it, and we don't raise the money. So I'm very aware that on this channel and across my social media, it's been Billy nonstop. I'm aware of that. It will continue to be that throughout the month of June. I'm not doing it for you. If you've seen it, you've donated, you've done your part, you're there, you see it. That's great. That's great. Share it, reshare it, retweet it, whatever, right? No big deal. It's very similar to a marketing campaign of a movie, right? Where you see a lot of commercials and billboards and posters and promos and TikTok ads and, Instagram ads. It's for it has to be out there. It's got to be out there. It's a marketing campaign. It's got to be out there until, it doesn't need to be anymore, right? So again, I'm not doing it to annoy anybody. 99% of the viewers that watch me get that and understand that. Like, yeah, I totally get why this is going on right now. The dude's trying to raise $120,000. You know what I'm saying? Totally get it. And every now and then you get a few people that are like, and it's like, shut up and go to bed. So anyway, yes, I'm very aware of that because we're trying to raise money. So, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And, as I've said many times, when you're doing a crowdfunding campaign, the real work begins when the campaign is launched. You can't just launch the campaign and sit there and expect it to gain money when nobody's talking about it, nobody's promoting it, nobody's sharing any links, right? I mean, you know what I mean? This thing doesn't sell itself, right? So you got to be out there. You got to be out there talking about it, selling it, sharing the links, posting about it, getting others to share, all this kind of stuff. It's a big campaign we're doing, right? So anyways, to the individual that was like, calm down, relax. And if you're really bothered by it, then just mute my page for the next month. It's that simple. more important fish to fry, my friend. All right. So yes, we will check in on the Billy campaign, of course, because we are knocking on 70,000 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has donated to the campaign so far. Who will donate to the campaign throughout the month of June. We're at the end of the month now. Month 5. Wow, that'd be crazy. Month 2, week 5 begins today. So there's 32 days left in the campaign. We have $50,000 to make up, but we've almost raised $70,000. Amazing. We got to keep it going. But we'll talk about that in a second. Let's jump into the Halloween side of things, and I will get to your super chats as well. So let's do that. Okay, so let's jump over to the other screen and talk about now. This, I guess, this is in order. I guess it's in order. I did sort of lay it out in order. So Let's do that. Okay. Here we go. Let's go over to the other screen. And we're going to start off with my number 5. So again, these are my top 5, and I guess this is in order. I guess it's in order. These are my top, because you know how I normally don't do it in order. I'm usually like, well, these are, 5 of my, but not necessarily in this order. But this is pretty much in order. You know what I mean? So these are my top 5 favorite Halloween characters. Again, I mean, ask me next Thursday and maybe it changes slightly. I don't know. But as I was doing this list, this is what is kind of came to me because, we always like to talk Michael, Laurie, Jamie, Dr. Loomis. No, let's put them aside. And, so here we go. So number 5, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 is Hawkins. Yes, Hawkins. Now, you'll notice that on this list, there's similarities between each character. And that is a character that I feel was underutilized and was a great character in the small amount of time we saw them, and or was a great character in this installment, and then they got totally fucking butchered in the next installment, or whatever the case is. Of course, it probably gave 1 or 2 away. But anyway, Hawkins, I think, is a great character. I think he should have been the sheriff. I don't know why, and again, I've said it many times, I mean, no disrespect to Omar Dorsey, who played Sheriff Barker, but Barker is a useless stooge. The character, not the actor. You have to say that today because, the world we live in. Barker is a useless stooge. And Hawkins, it makes sense. He's got the gravitas, he's got the experience, he's older, he's been with the department for 40 years. It makes, I would believe that a man in his position who was a deputy in 1978 would not still be just a deputy or, whatever he is. Maybe he's a captain or something. I don't know. But I totally believe that he would be sheriff by now. Do you know what I mean? And so I think he should have been the sheriff. He's got the gravitas, the history. I wanted every time he was on screen. He's a great character actor anyway. Will Patton, and I wanted to see more of him. Sheriff Hawkins. That's who it should have been. And Hawkins should have been that thread through 18 kills and ends. Had a bigger part, a bigger role, more things to say. I loved it every time he was on screen. Underutilized, great character actor, really disappointed. So, but again, the potential, right? The potential. For sure, 100%. Next for me, this is going to surprise a lot of people, but again, I'll explain why. Next for me is John Strode. What? John Strode? Yeah, right here. Not here. I don't know who that is. That's John Strode died in 1679, it says. So I guess it's like an old, I don't know. So I don't know who that is, but a John Strode. No, this John Strode right here from Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, why did I choose John Strode? Why is he on this list? Well, because I think he's a great villain. I forget the actor's name who played this, but I remember when I saw this movie in the theater back in 95, I thought of John Goodman. Do you know what I mean? I thought of, he's got that John Goodman sort of vibe. He reminds me of John Goodman in 16 Cloverfield Lane, right? He's just a good villain. This guy is I'm not saying the movie's great. Of course the movie's ass, you know, and I'm not, but he's a formidable, you know, he's got that, he's such a dick. He's such a dick. And there's no doubt in my mind that he beats his wife and he probably has beaten his kids and he's a fucking dick. And he played that role so well. And he's got like this big bombastic blowhard, you know, sort of like, yeah. Geeked out turtle fan, Biff Tannen dad. Yeah, Biff Tannen. That's right. Biff Tannen from when Marty McFly goes back to the alternate 1985 in Back to the Future 2, right? Like the Donald Trump kind of, you know, Biff Tannen. Exactly. It's just 100%. I think he's a great character, you know, in the Halloween franchise in that again, within its context, right? Totally. And you wanted to see him get his ass handed to him, and you did. Of course, during the, you know, they actually had his head explode. I don't think that was the initial sort of thing they shot. I think that might have been part of the reshoots, but yeah, I think, to be honest with you, and this is going to sound crazy, I think he's the best thing about that movie. I do. I think he's, now again, you know what, because listen, bless his heart, you know, Dr. Loomis, Donald Pleasance, he was 70 something. He was, and listen, you can be a strong young 70 and sound like me, or you can be an old 70 and sound like this. You know what I mean? I mean, we've all seen people in their 60s that are like, hey, how are you? You know, like, what the fuck's going on? And then you look at Dick Van Dyke, who's knocking on 100, who's like, dancing away, you know, Jim. And it's like, what the hell's going on, right? So, but he was, Dr. Loomis was, look, it's always great to see Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis, but he didn't have much to do in that movie. I'm very much retired, you know, whatever. You know, it's just, I'm just not a fan of the story and all that. I do like it better than Halloween 5. But I think in a movie that is largely just, you know, John Strode is just, he's such a badass. And I mean badass in like a dick. He's such a dick. He's such a douche. He plays that role so well. The character is strong. It's very clearly defined. That's what I mean, right? It's a very clearly, you know who this character is. You know what he's all about. And I think he's just, he's great as a character, right? So he's my number 4. My number three is, again, Marion Chambers. Marion Chambers is my number 3. Again, a strong character, especially we see that strength at the end of Halloween 2. We don't really see it at the end of Halloween. She's sort of a serviceable, kind of just, you know, expendable character in the original Halloween. She's just Dr. Loomis's nurse driving him to the, you know, the hospital. Her role is, again, Halloween, the original was supposed to be a one-off, and the role was served. We don't need to see any more of her. It's totally fine, right? Totally fine. At the end of Halloween 2, she comes across to me as a strong, independent, capable woman. There's something about her performance at the end of Halloween 2 from 1981 where she just, the way she shows up and, you know, and she's talking to Dr. Loomis and it's like, we need to talk now, you know, that kind of thing. And then when she's on the radio, Michael Myers, get your ass over here. You know what I mean? Like, she's strong. She's not afraid to fucking, you know, go there. And I like that about her. Again, you know, underutilized, but then she shows up in Halloween H2O, which is connected to Halloween 2. And I do think that sort of strong nature, and she's older by that time, of course, but I do think that strong nature sort of comes out. But then she's killed. And it's like, you know what I mean? I would have loved to have seen Marion. played by Nancy Stevens, actually carry on, actually become a character in Halloween H2O or in this new series or like what have you. I mean, now she's older and I guess maybe it's less believable that she could hold her own now because, you know, she's a lot older. But I really liked her character, especially at the end of Halloween 2. At the end, look, at the beginning of the original, she's smoking a cigarette. She's in the car. She's like, you're something. What does she say? Your confidence is underwhelming, or whatever she says. You know, and she's got that strong, badass. You know, it's there, right? It's under the surface. You know, there's an essence, and I like that about her. I like it. And then she was just completely wasted in Halloween Kills. Completely wasted. There was absolutely no point in having her in Kills. There was no point in having Sheriff Brackett in Kills. Absolutely no point whatsoever. But I do like her character at the end of 2 and at the beginning of 1. And although I am not the world's biggest fan of Halloween H2O, I think it's incredibly overrated, personally. But I do understand why a lot of people really like it. There are reasons why a lot of people really like it, and I respect that totally. But I do like her in it because I think probably one of the best moments in that movie is really the beginning of the movie with her. So Nancy Stevens, Nancy Stevens, but Marion Chambers. Marion Chambers is my number 3. My number two, let's go on. Number 2 is Rachel Carruthers from Halloween 4, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and Halloween 5, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. And, well, we've talked about this before. Tony Michael and I have talked about this on many shows. I've talked about this before. One of the best. It's what's so frustrating about this is that Rachel Carruthers was such a great character, such a great replacement for Laurie Strode. I think Ellie Cornell did such a great job, and the dynamic that was begun. You know, here she has this foster sister who she loves, but she's a teenager herself. And she's like, what is she in this movie? Supposed to be what, like 17, 18? And, you know, she's going through all the teen angst stuff and the dating and the boys and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, and she wants to go out and then she's got to babysit and take her little foster sister trick-or-treating. And there is, it's not that she hates her foster sister, but there's that natural teenage sort of kind of, you know, resentment, but it, you know, not in a nefarious or personal way, but just, you know, the age, you know, it's the age thing. But there's arcs because I fully believe by the end of that movie, because of what the two have been through together, that there will be, especially from Rachel's perspective, there would be a newfound respect and love for Jamie, which is so unfortunate that did not carry through in Halloween 5. I don't know how you missed the boat on that. You know what I mean? I just don't understand how you do not carry that through. But anyway, the potential of Rachel, I think she's a great character in Halloween 4. I think she's a formidable opponent to replace Laurie, you know, to Michael, and a nice sort of addition, because obviously Danielle Harris at that time was, you know, a little kid. So you needed somebody that you know, you needed an adult figure to sort of balance it out, and to make things believable. And I thought she was great. And then in Halloween 5, I know what the director was trying to do, but it failed miserably. It did not come across like that at all. Nobody feels it's a Janet Leigh Psycho moment or a Drew Barrymore Scream moment, like, oh, we're gonna kill her, and oh, it's gonna be such a shot. No, people got angry. People got angry because it was. Anyways, I could go on and on about it. It'd take too long. But I think I really like her in 4. I like her strength. She's badass, man. She's not afraid to get down into the weeds, fight back. And I like that. She's not a damsel in distress. You know, she's fighting back, and she's fighting to save not only herself, but her foster sister. And I fully believe after that moment, after the end of Halloween 4, they're no longer foster sisters. They're blood sisters. Do you know what I mean? Obviously symbolically, not literally, but that's the kind of relationship I wanted to see carry over. That's the kind of thing that should have been built and should have gone on from 5 and even into 6. And so it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see that. So Rachel Carruthers is my number 2 here because, just a great character. Great character. From 4 in 4. 5, I don't know what's going on. And then my number one favorite character outside of, and again, you could probably put Rachel at number 1 as well, depending on the day. But my number 1, and again, ask me on a different day and maybe, it's a different list. But my number 1 here for today is Sheriff Meeker. Bo Star, baby, Bo Star. But like Rachel Carruthers, it is Sheriff Meeker from Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Sheriff Meeker from Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Because Sheriff Meeker in Halloween 5, like Rachel Carruthers, is completely wasted. The strength and I don't know. There's something about him in 4. I thought he was he was badass in 4, and his dynamic between him and Loomis, and just I believed him. I believed his character. I believed the urgency that he was taught, like how he was delivering his lines and just everything. I just thought he was a great replacement for Brackett, I would have loved to have seen that character expanded and been paid more attention to going into Halloween 5. Maybe you fast forward it not, 1 year later, maybe it's a couple of years later. And, and then I think there should be a relationship between Meeker and Rachel and Jamie. Do you know what I mean? Like there's more of a, there's a dynamic there, and because they've been through hell, they know what it's like. And I really would have loved to have seen his character expanded, because his character was done dirty in 5. I mean, he's there and then he's not, and then he's killed off screen essentially. And it's just a waste, man. It's just a waste. So really disappointed. Again, you notice, right, that between all of my my list, right, when you go back to my first one, we got Hawkins, then John Strode. Now he's an evil guy, okay, I get that, but we got Hawkins, John Strode, Marion Chambers, Rachel Carruthers, and Sheriff Meeker. The commonality between all of them is that, I mean, for Rachel and Meeker in Halloween 4 only, is again, the strength. Like they're just well-rounded, like just really defined characters. I like the strength of the characters. And each one, Hawkins could have carried the fucking movie. Hawkins could have carried the movie. If they had given him more to, I know he's a character actor, at heart, but if they had given him more to do and backstory and, the character's experience with Michael and more screen time and, oh, fuck yes. John Strode, not necessarily, but I mean, he was well served. He was well served for sure. But Marion, strong, right? You know what I'm saying? Rachel, strong. Meeker, strong. That's what I'm talking. Like, I like them not in 5, Rachel, not in 5, but in the movies where they are strong, where I sit back and I go, fuck, I want to see more of this character. I wish this character was like this in the next installment. I wish Rachel would have survived, and totally. And then carried that on and built that relationship, that foundation that you laid at the end of Halloween 4. And totally. Totally. So unfortunately, they didn't do that. They wasted Meeker in 5 and they wasted Rachel in 5. So, but this is my list: Hawkins, John Strode, Marion Chambers, Rachel Carruthers, and Sheriff Meeker. Now, again, it's a top 5, right? Obviously, I have to be decisive and pick, there's a lot of great characters. There's Bud, there's Jimmy, there's Linda and Annie, and some of you may be surprised not to see Brackett on here. But, when we think of Brackett, when we think of his character, when I'm thinking about his character, right? He was great in the first one. He was fine in the second one, but I don't look at Brackett as a formidable sort of, he's more of a complementary player to Loomis, right? He didn't really believe Loomis at all through the first one. The last time we ever see Brackett, and remember, Halloween 2 from 1981 is not canon in in the new trilogy. So when we see Brackett in Halloween Kills, the last time we ever saw Brackett would have been at the end of Halloween when he drives his police car, up beside Loomis, and Loomis is like, he's here, he's 3 doors down, you go around the front, I'll check the back, blah, blah, right? He's going crazy. And Brackett's like, all right. He still doesn't buy it. He still doesn't believe it. He's a great auxiliary player. He's a great complementary player. And if the roles were reversed and, Charles Cyphers had been cast as Meeker or, whatever, maybe I'd feel the same way about Brackett. But Brackett feels like his character was served. Like it feels fine. I don't feel like I need to see more of him. Which is why I would never have cast him in Halloween Kills. With all due respect to Charles Cyphers, I get why they did. It's a nice little thing for him, for sure. He got a paycheck, that's great. But it's unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Brackett was an auxiliary player who was bouncing off of, Loomis. Loomis was no, you've got to listen to me. I'm on you right now. You've got to listen to me. And Brackett's like, I don't know, Doc. But, and that was the purpose. And then when shit hit the fan in Halloween 2 and Annie died, that was it. We never saw Brackett again. So he's a fine character. There's nothing wrong with him. He's fine. He's great. He's iconic in the Halloween universe. But I didn't feel he was like underutilized. And I didn't feel like there was a missed opportunity or whatever. So I'm just kind of like, he's fine. You know what I mean? The measuring stick for me in this list was who are some characters that I feel that, because people are going to think, I'm going to put Annie on the list or Linda, Bud. Yeah. But I did that. Yes. And they're great characters. They are. But I don't feel like they're underutilized. I feel like they served a purpose and their purpose was served and that's it. But with Meeker and Rachel and Hawkins, especially those three, oh yeah, I feel like massively missed opportunities. You could have expanded these to like real iconic status for these characters. Missed opportunities. Marion served well, I think, just completely blown in Halloween Kills. And John Strode completely served. Not on the list because I feel he's necessarily underutilized, but just because he's a strong character. And I think he's really clearly and well defined. And I think he's probably, like I said, I think he's probably the best thing about Halloween 6. So that is my list, ladies and gentlemen. Again, it could change depending on the day, but and you know what? I make it a top 10 and the list opens up and maybe Bud ends up on there or something. I don't know. But I always like to do top 5 because it really makes you think. It makes you have to make decisions, right? Whereas if you do like a top 10 or a top 20, well, then everybody's going to be on there. Right? Laurie, Rachel, Annie, Jamie, Linda, Bob, you know what I mean? Because it's a top 20. It's a top 20, so just throw everybody on there. When you make it a top 5, it really forces you to think and forces you to be decisive and be like, fuck, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I like challenging myself that way. I think it's kind of fun. That doesn't mean that, again, you expand the list to 6 and all of a sudden Bob's on there. Who knows, right? Yeah. Hey, if you're watching after the fact, comment below and let me know your thoughts. Who are some of your favorite Halloween characters outside of Dr. Loomis, Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, and Jamie Lloyd? Those are the easy ones. Those are going to be, if you say, who are your favorite Halloween characters? Everybody's going to have Michael. Everybody's going to have Loomis, and then like those are guaranteed. And then it's going to be maybe some people will have Laurie, some people will have Jamie. You know what I mean? Let's challenge ourselves and leave them off the list and actually, do something a bit different. I think would be a lot of fun. So again, for those of you that might just be tuning in, my number 5, Hawkins, totally underutilized, great character. John Strode, perfectly utilized, great character. Marion Chambers, perfectly utilized for sure. Strength, strong, great character, but completely wasted in Halloween Kills. Rachel Carruthers, great character, so much potential in Halloween 4, completely wasted in Halloween 5. And Sheriff Meeker, exact same thing. Great character, strong in Halloween 4, completely wasted in Halloween 5. That's what it is for me. So some super chats came in. So let me see if I can get these super chats that came in here. Let me make sure I'm not missing any. All right. So we've got, hang on a sec. So we've got Devin Reese sends in $5. Thank you, Devin, and says, Reverend Jackson P. Sayer from Halloween 4 is great. That's right. Yeah, thanks for another great stream. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, he's a great character. I agree. I absolutely agree. Don Larson just sends in $10, just supporting the channel. Thank you, Don. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. New Nightmare. Hey, Nightly Gymo. What's going on, buddy? Sends in $4.99. Says, sup, Dave? Can't stay working on editing stuff. Really hoping Ben Meeker makes the list. He did. Best sheriff in the franchise, in my opinion. You know what? I agree. Because, obviously Brackett is classic, but when we talk about their characters and how their characters serve the story, we never got to see Meeker. I mean, we got to see him a little bit in Halloween 2, right? When he's in the car and he's like, no man could take 6 slugs. You know what I mean? Or whatever he says, 6 shots, 6 slugs, and he's like, this isn't a man, Dr. Loomis. And then really that's it. Like we never see an opportunity for where he's got like his gun drawn and he's like busting into houses or something, or he's in the backyard, he's looking around and, we never really got to see that. And that's fine because his character was served, it was fine. But I agree with Meeker. He was getting in on the action. You know what I mean? And it's just too bad that didn't carry over into a Halloween 5 because, I think Meeker is great. Bo Star, what a name. Bo Star. It's fucking wild. Daniel Hyrell sends in $4.99. Thank you, Daniel. And says, Dave, I'm not a big Billy fan, but I'm a loyal OG McRae fan and will be donating $100 so you can make this film because I believe in you. God bless you, brother. Well, thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. You see, Daniel is the kind of people we need to sort of reach out to, right? And sort of, tap into. And listen, making movies is art. Making movies is art, right? And there's always now, again, I don't know why Daniel's not a big fan of the movie. There could be a variety of reasons for that, right? But movies is art. And if there's one thing that Bruce and I cannot guarantee, and no filmmaker can, is that you'll like the movie. What we can guarantee is a professional product through and through that continues to pay homage to the legend of Black Christmas, and that is, that's a mood and atmosphere and continues the story and completes the arcs and all that kind of stuff, right? But whether you like our style of filmmaking, whether you like the style of Black Christmas, because there's a lot of people that watched It's Me, Billy. Even though I said it wouldn't be, there are still a lot of people that thought, it's kind of slow, boring. This is kind of, I thought there was going to be more blood and guts and action. I've actually had people say to me, are you going to have more blood and guts? And I'm like, no, this isn't Friday the 13th. If you want blood and guts, Never Hike Alone 2. I invite you to walk down the hall to the next theater where Never Hike Alone 2 is playing, and you will get your blood, guts, and gore. But It's Me, Billy is not cut from the same cloth of storytelling, right? It is an psychological, atmospheric sort of, like the original Black Christmas, right? So, and we want our film to feel like it lives in the same universe. Now, again, I'm not saying that's why Daniel didn't like the movie, but I do know for some people, it just wasn't their cup of tea. It just wasn't, they want, slasher, you know what I mean? Well, you're not going to get that. And you're not going to get that with It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 either. Now, It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 does step it up a little bit because now we're coming to the crescendo. We're coming to the end now. Shit's hit the fan. Things are stepping up. But it's still within the context of the kind of horror movie it is, right? You have horror movies that are psychological horror movies that don't really have any blood, that are more about mood and atmosphere and things like that, like, I don't know, Hereditary or The Others or, things like that. And then you have your bona fide slasher blood, guts, and gore movies, right? But that's really cool to see. That's really cool to see. He's not afraid to say, he's like, dude, listen, watch it. Just didn't really jive with me, but I love what you're doing. I love that you're going after it. Love the channel. I'm going to support you. Daniel, thank you so much. Really appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that. It means a lot. It does. It means a lot. It really does, man. Thank you. Let's see here. Let's move on here and keep scrolling. Josh McKenna sends in $4.99. Thank you, Josh. And says, are Canadians super patriotic? Have you ever chanted Canada over and over again at a sporting events or talked about being proud to be Canadian? That's a great question, Josh. Canada is, we're patriotic to a degree. But Canada never had to fight for its independence, right? The U.S. fought for its independence. Canada was basically granted independence by, Great Britain. We are a former British, well, we still are, but we are our own country now. But we are a British colony. That's why the Queen is still on our money. And so... No, we're not. I mean, the USA is extremely patriotic. USA. I mean, it's just like, okay, take it down a notch. We get it. Freedom. But I get it. I totally get it, right? Guns. It's like a Family Guy episode. You know what I mean? No, we're not quite like that. We are more... And really, much to my, I'm speaking generally, right? I'm speaking generally. Obviously, there are some very patriotic people here in Canada. And yes, at sporting events, especially hockey, we can get pretty fucking patriotic, if you know what I'm saying, right? But in a general sense, not really. I mean, it's not that we're not proud to be Canadian. We are. And of course, we celebrate Canada's birthday 3 days before you all celebrate Independence Day on July the 4th. Canada Day is July the 1st. It's basically our Independence Day. And, there's festivities and fireworks and Canadian flags and Oh Canada and barbecue. It's the same thing as Independence Day. Barbecues, families, holidays, weekends, fireworks. Yeah, Canada. It's the same thing. But we don't have the same history as the United States does. And so it's freedom and being patriotic and America, is built into the DNA. It's not really, Canada, it's not built. It's not built into our DNA here. So it's a very different kind of patriotism. It's a little more reserved and sort of just not quite as I would say that's probably the best way to describe it. But yeah, of course. I mean, we're very proud to be Canadian. Obviously Canada, one of the best countries in the world. We have freedom up here too, of course. It's not just a United States thing. Many countries around the world have freedom, although there are certain types of freedoms because of your, the Declaration of Independence and all the amendments, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, all that kind of stuff. There are certain things, obviously, that is not the same up here. But yeah, we're very patriotic but just not in the same kind of ways, if you know what I mean. Does that make sense? Yeah. No, you're not going to find anybody up here going, yeah, Canada. You know what I mean? It's not really our style. But you get us at like Canada in the Olympic gold hockey game or whatever. Then that's maybe where it's going to come out. You know what I mean? For sure. Great question. I like that. That's good. I like that a lot. Okay. Oh, wait. Super chat comes in from where Nomad has gone before, sends in $6. Thank you, buddy. Says, I like the preacher in part 4 that picked up Loomis. And Dave, who is better, Sheriff from Halloween or Sheriff from Black Christmas? Well, John Saxon didn't play a sheriff. He was a lieutenant. He was Lieutenant Fuller. So I would say that you're talking about Sheriff Brackett. I would have to go with Brackett then if we're talking about sheriffs. But yeah, John Saxon was a lieutenant. He played Lieutenant Fuller in Black Christmas. And then 10 years later, he wasn't the chief. Was he the chief? I think he was another lieutenant. I don't think he was the chief in Elm Street, right? Was he the chief? I can't remember. Or the sheriff? I can't remember. Anyways, he played another cop in A Nightmare on Elm Street. So 2 cops in 2 classic horror movies. Amazing. So yeah, so let me just see what's going on here on the campaign. So here is the campaign for those of you that have been following it. Let me just do a little refresh here and see where we are. So we are currently sitting at 68,721 Canadian Billy Bucks, 574 backers. Absolutely incredible. I'm just going to put the link into the chat room there. There's the link into the chat room, folks. Is it possible? I mean, we are knocking on 70,000 Canadian dollars. It would be, I mean, it's well within our reach to get there by the end of the stream today. I don't know if we will, but it would be amazing if we could. Lots of wonderful perks, folks. Still 2 co-producer perks, amazing Blu-rays, hoodies, shirts, autographs, digital download. Check them out, folks, if you haven't yet already. We can't do it without you. We can't do it without you. As I've been saying for the month of May here, week 5 begins today. We're 1 month in, 57% funded. We still have about $50,000 to go. Can we do it? Can we do it? I believe we can. And like I've always said, and remember, it's not about if you have deep pockets or you have a rich uncle, a rich uncle, and you want to come in and get one of the big tiers, that's great. But these campaigns are usually always won and fulfilled by a lot of people coming in on lower tiers like Blu-rays and things like that. So if you want to get It's Me Billy Chapter 1 and It's Me Billy Chapter 2 on Blu-ray, there is a perk on the campaign for that. You can get both on Blu-ray. It's called the Double Blue. And you get both Blu-rays. And both Blu-rays will come with a BTS featurette. The featurette on Chapter 1 was an hour long. You get a director's commentary, the movie in full HD, of course, and trailers and teasers and all that kind of fun stuff. So I don't know. I'd love to at least hit 69,000. I think we could probably get there by the end of the stream, but it would be amazing if we could get to 70,000 today by the end of the stream, just to cross that milestone going into week 5, I think would be really great. So again, folks, anything you can do would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, let's bring Billy back again, folks. We're making Black Christmas history, Black Christmas alumni on board. We want to complete this story, complete the vision. Olivia Hussey. I mean, it's really incredible, folks. It really is what we're doing here. And but we can't do it without you. We can't do it without all of you. It's not hyperbole. That's true. 100%. And so very excited. So yeah. Go over to the campaign and again, donations as well. If you've already picked up a perk and you don't want to get a Blu-ray, or maybe you're somebody like Daniel who's like, you know what? No disrespect, Dave, but It's Me Billy just wasn't my jam, not my kind of horror movie, or whatever the case is. But I like you. And I appreciate all the hard work you've done on the channel and all the videos you've done. And I just want to support you, man. Here's $30. Here's $20. Here's $1. Here's $1. Whatever. Here's 50. You can also donate on the campaign as well. You don't have to pick up a perk. You can just go to the very end of all the perks and there's a donate here button and you can just donate as well, which is really cool. So, and I would greatly appreciate that very much. Let's see. We're knocking on 70K, baby. We're knocking on 70K. I think we might be able to do it. It's entirely possible, folks. It's entirely possible. Have I got all the super chats? I think I have. I just want to make sure. Yes, where Nomad has gone before was the last super chat that came in. Yeah, once the stream is done, guys, comment below and let me know your thoughts on your top 5 Halloween characters, favorite Halloween characters that are not Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lloyd, and or Dr. Loomis. Pretty cool. Let me see here. Evil Monsterism says Canada has speech laws, so I wouldn't call that free. Well, no, let's not believe everything you hear on certain things. There are certain things that that are problematic. That is true. But there are also certain things that you can get into trouble for saying in the U.S. as well. You know, not the same kinds of things, but I don't want to get into a debate about it, but let's just say there's a lot of nuance. It's not quite black and white, just like you can't, you know what I mean? There's a lot of nuance in there that needs to be addressed. And I'm not a political channel. I'm not a culture warrior channel. Thank God. But I do know about it and what people think about it and certain things that have been problematic up here. But there's a lot of nuance to the argument. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Rob Thidoff says, Dave, can you please give a shout out to Notre Dame men's lacrosse? They won their first national championship today by beating Duke. Go Irish. Well, shout out to the Notre Dame men's lacrosse. Amazing guys for winning. They won the national championship by beating Duke. Incredible. Amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations for kicking their asses. I love it. 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 It's great stuff. Great stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, look what happened. We've crossed 69,104. 578 backers. By the way, everybody that donates to the campaign or picks up a perk will get a shout out from me here on the stream tonight. I love it. We are less than $1,000 away from 70,000 Canadian Billy Bucks. Who was this? Let's check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Who was it? Maybe it was Daniel. Yeah, it was. It was Daniel. He came in. Who do we got? We got MJS Lawrence. Michael Lawrence picks up the holiday sweater. Love it. Kara Hunt. Am I saying that right? Kara Hunt picks up the get your name in the end credits perk. And Daniel Hyrell donated $135. Daniel, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. That means a lot. Means a lot, buddy. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We are now at 69,104 Canadian Billy Bucks, knocking on $70,000, which is great. And I believe we will hit the 60% mark once we reach 72,000. So we are still 47%. 47% or 43%? 43. We are 43% away from our goal, but doing very well. Thank you very much again to Daniel and Kira, I think is how you say that, and Michael Lawrence, MJS Lawrence. Thank you, buddy. Really, really appreciate that. Amazing, folks. Could we get to 70 by the end of the stream? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Evil Monsterism says, Dave, what would you do if a studio gave you millions of dollars but told you you must co-direct a movie with Rob Zombie? Sure, why not? Sure, why not? I'd do it. They're giving me millions of dollars, or the production budget is millions of dollars? Because just because a production budget is millions and millions doesn't mean the director is necessarily getting millions and millions of dollars. Although, if you are a director that is directing a multi-million-dollar picture, chances are, well, no, not necessarily. Listen, if the budget of a movie is, say, $10 million, that doesn't mean that the director is getting, $5 million. You know what I mean? Because the production budget includes everything. The production budget of a movie is the rental of the equipment, craft services, the actors' salaries, insurance, props. It is the budget of the movie minus the marketing budget. That's a separate thing. So if you got a $5 million budget, your director's not making $3 million. He's not making $2 million. He's not making $2 million, right? So I guess it would all depend on what the budget is. But it would realistically, it would depend on what the movie was. Because I don't have an interest in directing Schlosh. But that's me. That's totally me. Bobby Hall says, if people want to donate, might as well get a Blu-ray so we get the epic Halloween stream. I agree. Hey, listen, thank you for reminding me of that. I made a video a couple of weeks ago, and I said that, and some people have come forward and said, well, listen, that's too high. No way that's going to happen. You should lower it. And my thinking is, well, hang on a sec. I have nearly 30,000 subscribers on this channel. I have nearly 5,000 followers on Twitter, over 3,000 followers on Instagram, nearly 4,000 followers on Facebook. I don't think it's an unrealistic ask to, get 550 people to buy a Blu-ray when over 400 people bought a Blu-ray the first time around, right? You know what I mean? I don't think, if I was asking for, no, it's got to be 5,000 people, well, then that's ridiculous, obviously, right? It's just a matter of, again, reaching everybody who wants it, but also reaching all. There's lots of people that watch me that could absolutely donate, but just haven't yet. Right? So we got to reach those people, and we got to get those people excited about it. Right? And like Daniel, who's like, listen, maybe you're not like him where he wasn't a big fan of the movie. Maybe you're just not a big Black Christmas fan, but you're a big fan of me. Right? And, and you like what we do here on the channel. You've loved all the streams. Think about all the streams. 212 McRae lives, nearly 202 dudes, all the Halloween coverage from 18 to kills to ends. And maybe you're looking for a way to say thanks, because I do have people that reach out to me that say, Dave, I want to thank you for everything you've done. You've helped me through some really hard times, or, whatever the case is. And I know I'm not the only one that gets that. I can talk to my horror contemporaries in, our space, and they get that shit too. And it means a lot. It's very humbling. We're not doing this for that, obviously, and it means a lot. And sometimes people are like, listen, if there's anything I can do, just let me know, blah, blah, blah. And of course, in my head, I'm like, well, no, there isn't. I can't, But now here, yeah, there is. You can buy a Blu-ray, or you can donate. You don't have to donate what Daniel did. You can donate $20, $10, $5, whatever, right? Every little bit counts, and it means a lot to me. This project means a lot to me. Bruce and I have worked our asses off behind the scenes to get this going. And, and it would mean a lot to me. It really would. And so that's one way, right? That's one way that you could do it. But you're right. You could pick up a Blu-ray, because what I was hoping is either, so we look at the official Blu-ray, we've sold 84 of these. I was hoping that either this or the double blues, which is down here, the double blues get to a total, we've sold 120 of these. So even if we were to combine them, we're nowhere near where we need to be. I was hoping either the official Blu-ray or the double blue would reach 550 units sold. And again, for my American friends south of the border, you're seeing Canadian dollars. Keep that in mind. That's what CAD stands for, Canadian. It will be cheaper for you in the States. And if it gets to 550 units sold, on Saturday, October the 28th, I will do the epic Halloween stream, which is I will watch Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Halloween 4, and Halloween 5, all in one gigantic 8 or 9 hour stream in one sitting. There would be giveaways. I'd have some guests on, maybe even to pop on and just say hello, or maybe watch a movie with me, whatever. We'd have some munchies. We'd be hanging out 3 days before Halloween all day. And I don't think that's an unreasonable ask. I really don't. It's just people just have to do it, right? But Bobby's right. If you're going to donate, maybe pick up a Blu-ray. Maybe you're not a fan. Well, you know what? You get the Blu-ray in the mail. Maybe you use it as a Frisbee for your dog. I don't know. Or you just sit it on a shelf and you're like, you know what? I helped make that a reality. That's Black Christmas history. That's horror history right there. People have to, kind of remember that. You know what I mean? And that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that there's still a lot of people that bought a Blu-ray the first time who haven't yet bought a Blu-ray this time around. Now, maybe it's because, you know what? Not really a big fan of the movie. And that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I completely understand that. but it would help. It would help the campaign out a lot, and it would help us get very close, or at least make that epic Halloween stream more of a reality. So yes, Bobby, you're right. But you know what? We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We will continue to see what happens. We shall see. Oh, we've gone up a little bit again. I felt like Jeff Goldblum there. Yes. Who do we got here? We've got, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Jonathan Nichols picks up the Dress to Impress, picks up an It's Me Billy Chapter 2 t-shirt. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Really appreciate that very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Picked up the t-shirt. That's awesome. That's awesome. 69,164. It's great to see this going up. Man, we are so close to 70. Woo! Woo! So close, baby. So close. 4 weeks in. Nearly $70,000. I'm loving it. 32 days left. You can see that right there. Just 32 days left. It's going to tick by. The month of May went by pretty quick. This is going to tick by too. But yeah, you're right, Bobby. Absolutely. I don't feel that it was an unrealistic number based on the analytics and the sales from the first campaign, right? And based on the amount of people that follow me across YouTube and social media. It's not an unrealistic ask at all. But to be fair, I'm not going to put it at a lower thing like, 100, because we're trying to raise money for a camp. Now, I know you know this, but I've had to say to people, well, to be fair, yes, I do want to do the stream 100%. I will absolutely do it, but we are trying to raise $120,000 for this movie as well. So, I'm not, yes, of course, right? So I have to make it at a unit, a unit total that makes sense for the campaign too, not just because I want to sit my ass down for 9 hours and watch a bunch of Halloween movies. I will totally do it. And I think it's going to be wild and fun. But we're trying to raise money too, right? You know what I mean? So, but I think I've been very fair. And some people have asked, will you combine the two, the sales of the Blu-ray and the sales of the double blue? Ideally, I don't want to, because I don't want people to, that's not the incentive is to get them up. And if we only get to a certain point where it looks like I'm going to be able to combine the two, then the sales could stop, right? And so it's very important that we get those sales up. And listen, if we're very close, if we're at like 549, 548, or if I were to combine the two and that gets us to 548, yeah, okay, maybe I'll do it. Okay, maybe I'll do it. But even combining where we are right now, we're nowhere close. So got a month to go. But I think it's a fair trade-off. I really do. Let me see here. Oh, we got Jacob Cordenthos. Is that how you say that? No, Corinthos, I think is how you say that. Am I saying that right? My top 5: Bud, Rachel, Allison, Meeker, the Preacher. It's a good top 5. That's pretty good, man. I like it. I'm digging it. I like it a lot. Drakelock. For It's Me Billy 2, are you going to give it the red carpet treatment for release like Dylan's New Nightmare is getting? Possibly. We wanted to do for It's Me Billy Chapter 1, we wanted to do an in-person sort of screening for the cast and crew. But we couldn't because of COVID. And there is a theater not too far away from me that I was going to look at to see if I could rent it out. But it was closed. You couldn't do it. And people still, in the spring/summer of 2021, which was just a couple years ago, people were still on edge. And so now I think it's a bit different. Now I think we probably could do that. But it wouldn't be at like a convention or anything like that. Because it's, maybe, but we're not quite there with that yet. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see where we are and see how much money it is, right? It all depends on how much money we have. Because if we were to do, let's say we were to do what Cecil's done, right? And we want to, let's just take Mad Monster, Arizona as an example. And by the way, Cecil and I are going to be on this channel live tomorrow talking about Dylan's New Nightmare and the world premiere, in case you don't know what we're talking about. But let's say I want to premiere It's Me, Billy at a convention. Well, I got to fly everybody to that convention, right? I got to fly everybody. I got to fly Victoria and Caro and Brian and, you know, Bruce and I and Greg and, you know, Lynn and Olivia and you know, I mean, it's a lot of money. I mean, you could spend $20,000 on plane tickets alone, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if the money is there, sure. But if it makes no sense because we're not making money from the movie, it makes no sense. You see, the premiere that Cecil is doing it at is around the corner from where he lives. So it makes sense for him to do that. You know, and so, yeah. So, but I don't know, you know what? We'll talk about it. If the money's there, it's an option. But if the money's not there, then no, we won't. We'll just have the advanced premiere, which we do have on the campaign. And then we'll release it online like we did last time. But what's cool about it is that It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 is lining up to release next year, which is the 50th anniversary of the original Black Christmas. I mean, that's wild. That's awesome. And we're going to release it like in and around the same time that the original was released in 1974. That's pretty fucking cool. And by the way, folks, on the campaign, I'm surprised more of these haven't sold, to be honest with you, because they sold like gangbusters last time. If you want to see It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 before anybody else does, there is an online advanced premiere. 6 have sold. There's only 24 left. And with it, you get an It's Me, Billy Chapter 2 Blu-ray, you get a t-shirt, you get the digital download package, you get your name in the end credits. It's a sweet deal. And you get to see it before anybody else. And it's an online advanced premiere. I will be there, Bruce will be there, some of the cast will be there, and we all watch it together. And it's like this. It's like, you know, YouTube, you're in the chat room and we play it for you on the screen. And then there's a Q&A afterwards and all that kind of stuff. And it's great. We had a blast with Chapter 1. So just a reminder that is a perk as well. Because some people, you know, like that kind of thing, right? A little VIP access. Pretty cool stuff. So, yeah. We've gone up a little bit again. I'm loving it. I love seeing those little incremental, you know, the little rises. I'm digging it. 69,189. Let's see who we've got here. Again, everybody who donates or gives a shout out, who donates or picks up a perk, I will give a shout out. And we have a donation, $25 from Michael Stapp. Michael Stapp just donated $25. Appreciate that, Michael. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate that. Very, very much. Yeah, appreciate it very much, dude. Thank you. Yeah, we're moving on up. We're moving on up, folks. We're moving on up. I'm just saying, we're moving on up. Just a reminder, that co-producer perk, woo, it's a top tier. It is a top tier, but with top tier perks, you get top tier things. So, like that Jimmy Falco Halloween Kills flashback mask. Which you can get, which is pretty awesome as well. All right, let me see here. Super chat comes in from Daniel Hyrell, sends in $4.99, says, thanks for the kind words, bro. Happy to help. It's the least I can do for the countless hours of content you've given me over the years. God bless. Really appreciate that, man. I really do. Thank you. Yeah, it's you know, it's been a hell of a ride. You know, to sit here and talk with you guys and hang out and talk Halloween and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've had a really fun time, you know, over the years. The hype and the lead up and the build to Halloween 18, and then the hype and the lead and the build to Halloween Kills, and then the hype and the lead up and the build to Halloween Ends, and it's been a blast. You know, it's been so much fun to be able to, you know, just hang out, talk about what we love. And, you know, it's funny. I went to my, when I go to my Social Blade, because that's how I can tell how many videos I've done. Let me just see here. I forget what it is. Over the years, I've uploaded, according to Social Blade, now I would assume this also includes live streams, but it says uploads. So maybe it doesn't include live streams. Maybe it's just uploads. I'm not really sure. I'll have to look after this stream is done. It says uploads. It says I've uploaded 1,266 videos, which I know is not a lot to, for some people who upload thousands and thousands, but it's still a lot. And then if that doesn't include live streams, I mean, all the McRae lives, the 212 of those, the nearly 200, two dudes, and all the other streams. I've probably done, if this doesn't include the live streams, I've probably done an upwards of, I would say, maybe 700 or 800 live. It's crazy stuff. And it's not like my live streams are like half an hour. Like my live streams are like at minimum 90 minutes, which is what you usually get with a McRae live. And then I'm banging out like other ones like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It's insane, man. It's insane. And when you're doing it mostly solo, that's what I love about the Two Dudes show a lot too, is because it's a little easier because I'm hanging out with Tony Michael, right? And we can bounce off each other and we take the pressure off each other. And, there's moments where I'm talking, there's moments where he's talking. So, you're not exerting as much energy. But when you're doing, McRae lives, or you're doing like, these Billy streams, whatever, I'm riding solo for like 3 hours and I'm like, working on like an energy level that's here, you know what I mean? And then, so yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work for sure. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. And I love hanging out with you guys. All right, let me see. Oh, we've gone up again. I'm loving it. It's like McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Hey, listen, if we cross 70,000 today, I'm going to go. That's when you're going to get the song, man. I'm going to go crazy. Shout out. Let's give a shout out. Again, shout outs to anybody who picks up a perk or donates to the campaign today. We've got Karen O'Reilly. Karen O'Reilly picked up the double blue. Amazing, Karen. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Picked up the double blue. That means you get It's Me Billy Chapter 1 on Blu-ray, which is, I have It's Me Billy Chapter 1 on Blu-ray around here somewhere. I guess it's back here. Oh, well. I tried to get it and it fell behind the thing, so I'll have to, it fell. I tried to get it, but it fell behind my little dresser back there. So I'll have to get it. Oh, well, hey, it happens. It happens. But yeah, It's Me Billy Chapter 1 on Blu-ray. Really awesome stuff. We think it's cool Blu-ray. Again, there's a 60-minute BTS featurette on Chapter 1. So you get to watch 60 minutes of how the movie was made, behind the scenes, everything. And Chapter 2 will come with something very similar, if not maybe longer. You know what I mean? So who knows? But really appreciate that, Karen. Thank you so much. 581 backers. Man. Amazing. I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-boo-boo-boo. Ra-ba-ba-bee-ba-bo. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Chester Franklin Jr. is like 70K today. Almost there. Ooh, dude. Could we do it? I don't know, man. Listen, the goal, okay? This is the goal. I've been honest with you guys. I'm always honest with you guys. I'm upfront with you guys. You know that. Because, I want that relationship, right? And so I'm going to be honest with you guys again. This time next week, next Monday, I would love the campaign to be at minimum 80,000. 80,000 Canadian. Again, for my American brothers and sisters south of the border, when you go to the campaign, you're going to see a lower number. And then the perks will look cheaper to you than what you've been seeing here on the campaign, because obviously I'm a Canadian in Canada. And I've launched the campaign here. So it's all Canadian dollars. And if you notice any slight fluctuations in the totals, whether the total amount that needs to be raised or in a perk, that's not us changing anything on our end. That's the conversion rate, because maybe on maybe today, 120,000, Canadian is worth 88,974 US dollars. But by Friday, because the dollar fluctuates, right? Maybe 120,000 Canadian is now worth 89,220 US dollars, right? So you'll notice little bits of fluctuation like that. It's marginal, but you may notice it just in case you were wondering, are they like changing the, no, we can't do that. Once you set the budget, you do not have access to change or switch anything. And that goes with the perks as well. So once somebody picks up a perk, once the perks are launched, I can't change the thumbnails. I can't change the descriptions. I can't change the price points. It's grayed out. Like I can't access it. And rightly so. Like I totally get that because they don't want somebody changing something when somebody's already bought it. Oh, wait, now it's, wait, what are you doing? Totally get that, right? So no, that's out of our hands. That's just the fluctuation of the conversion rate that you might see. But yeah, we would love to be at minimum at 80,000 by next Monday. That's great. And that means going into week 6, which is where we'd be going into because we're going into week 5 now. I guess we'd be, week 6, 7, 8, or week 5. Are we on 4 now? Anyways, going into, the first full week of June, then the goal would be to get to 90,000, right? And then 100,000. And now we're knocking on that 120, right? You know what I'm saying? So, well, not quite, but we're getting close. So, and again, if we can get there faster, that's great too. But I'm looking at minimums. Like, what are our minimums? What's realistic? And we've been doing very well over the last month at reaching 10,000 milestones every week. Sometimes even more. I mean, hell, last Sunday, not yesterday, but the week before, we raised 11,000 in one day. It's just insane. And remember too, you don't have to wait for these streams to donate. I know it's fun because you get shout outs and it's crazy and all that kind of stuff, but it's also important that we keep the momentum going on the days where I'm not doing streams. You know what I mean? It's important that we just, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit that's got to keep that going. Got to keep we got to keep the fire at least simmering. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it going. But yeah, if we could get to 80,000 by next Monday, that's good. We're minimum. That's good. We're in good shape there. So yeah, we'll see. But 69,294, 581 backers. Let's see if we can get close to 70,000 today, folks. Let's see if we can get as close to 70,000 today as we possibly can. Unimpressive Media says, is there a Billy-a-thon coming up? Well, great question, by the way. Thank you. So let me say this. The ironic thing is that with all the streams I've been doing over the last number of weeks, they're almost like mini Billy-a-thons. Even McRae Live. My McRae Lives are different from my regular live streams because my McRae Lives will always have like a main topic at the beginning of the show that I talk about for, 25 or 30 minutes. And then we jump over to, the other side of the show. Whereas just regular Q&As, it's just a Q&A right from, the very beginning. But even with my McRae Lives and all the streams I've done, these are kind of like mini Billy-a-thons anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if we're going to have like an official Billy-a-thon. What we are thinking about doing is doing a watch along. So myself and Bruce, maybe getting Victoria on board, maybe Lynn, some of the cast to do a watch along of the original Black Christmas. And then right afterwards, watch It's Me, Billy, Chapter 1. So we haven't made that announcement officially yet, but it's not like a spoiler or anything. But we are working on that right now. And during that stream, of course, you can send in super chats and support the channel. That's great. But we would really hope that you would go and donate to the campaign, pick up some perks, whatever the case is, right? And we can talk about it and all that kind of stuff. And so we're in the sort of working on that at the moment because really, I mean, these streams I've been doing have been really effective. And because not everybody, listen, if you hear me say the same thing all the time, if it sounds like I'm, repeating myself, all that means is that you are a loyal viewer and you tune into me every time I'm live. But every time I'm live, not everybody's tuning in, right? There's lots of people that catch me here or catch me there, or I missed that, whatever the case is. So it's always important to do these streams on a regular basis, because I think we're always reaching new people, and we need your help. We really do. We're very thankful for everybody that has stepped up so far. It's just awesome. You know, the level of support that we've seen here is just truly amazing. And if this was It's Me Billy Chapter 1, we would have raised our production budget and then some. But Chapter 2 is a lot more expensive for a variety of reasons. It's Me Billy Chapter 2 is now a union project, whereas Chapter 1 was non-union. So obviously we're dealing with SAG and ACTRA now here in Canada. And obviously some Black Christmas alumni are on board, and the price of things have gone up, and it's a more expensive film. So anything you can help or anything you can contribute is greatly appreciated. And always remember that no matter what perk you get, your name will be in the end credits. Pretty darn cool. Pretty darn cool. So have I missed any super chats? I don't think so. I'm scrolling back here. I'm not seeing anything. Daniel Hyrell was the last one as far as I can see, which is great. So I don't think I've missed anything. That is awesome. Okay, let me see here. Let me get some, Kevin Ketchy says, if The Shape is just a random killer without any motivation, it's just kind of bland to me. Something constantly coming for you. The ramifications from that and how you deal with it, face it, is so good. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a matter of taste, right? You know, it's a matter of taste. And if you really like the motivation and the brother-sister arc and, you know, the family dynamic, that's great. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, that is what is in the pop culture zeitgeist. It's only that first movie where that doesn't exist. Now, people have tried to, you know, put a square peg into a round hole, you know, trying to look for things to that are, I don't know, you know, examples of, they were brother, sister, even in the first movie. But that's not true. They weren't. He literally was a nobody. He was not related to Laurie Strode in that first movie. And there's nothing in that first movie that tells you that. Now, I know people are going to say, well, what about the TV version of the original Halloween? Sister. Well, yes, but that's not officially canon. Okay. Because you can buy, no matter what version of, you know, whether you watch Halloween on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, or 4K, now, some of the 4Ks will come with the TV version, but the official theatrical release version of Halloween does not have the extended added-on shit they shot for television to pad the length, knowing that they are now doing the sister arc, so they just added that in afterwards. That stuff's just added in later. That's not, you know, that's no more canon than the novel is. The Halloween novel is not canon. The mask in the Halloween novel has got blue eyeshadow and pink lipstick. Seriously. So, I mean, you know what I mean? The theatrical release of Halloween, in my opinion, 1978, that is the movie. And that movie, it was just a one-off. That was it. And then John Carpenter had to figure out a way to justify what this is all about. And so he made the brother-sister arc, which is great. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people like it. That is what is most known, right? Laurie Strode, Michael Myers, that is, despite the fact that you don't have that in these other three movies, you know, because of Halloween 2, because of Halloween H2O, especially, those two movies especially, you know, that dynamic is in the horror zeitgeist. And a lot of people love it. A lot of people love it. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. For the very reasons that you say. Let me see here. I'm just looking to see if there's anything I've missed. People talking to each other. Cheston Franklin Jr. says, Dave, will you do more streams once you reach the donations and backers? Of course. Well, you mean like more streams about Billy? Oh, of course. Again, you know, I said this at the top of the show and I say this here again, just so I'm clear. And I know most of you know this, but again, everybody's tuning in at different times, all that kind of stuff. I know I'm talking about Billy a lot on the channel and across my social media as of late. I know that, but we're in the middle of a major crowdfunding campaign. And this is no different than, this is what you should be doing. right? If you have a following, if you don't have a following, well, then you're not reaching anybody. But if you have a little bit of a platform, which I do have, it's not huge or anything, but it's a little bit of a platform in the horror space, then you should be doing this. One of the big mistakes that a lot of, I think filmmakers make when they launch a campaign is they just let it sit there. They put so much sweat, blood, and tears and hard work into building the campaign, and then they launch it, and then they let everybody know they've launched it, and then you don't hear from them again for another 2 weeks. Or maybe they make a post here or there. And I don't know if it's because they're afraid of coming across as annoying, or they're afraid you don't want to, you know what I mean? Listen, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're going to be annoying. Yep. Yeah, but it's no more annoying than watching television and seeing the same commercial for the movie that's just coming out in the next day. Well, you understand why you're seeing the same commercial 3 times in one show, right? To this, because the movie's coming out soon, and like, you get it, like, you understand, you totally get it. It's the same thing here, right? We're not releasing a movie at the end of June, but we're trying to raise money. So I know that 99% of the people get it. Yeah, I get why Dave's talking about it, posting about it. I totally get why it's taken over at the moment. Yeah, totally get it. It makes sense. It would be weird if he wasn't doing that. So I launched the campaign on May the 1st, and then I don't ever talk about it, or I talk about it like once every 2 weeks or something. No, it's boom, 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 boom. And I don't know if we would be where we are now if I wasn't doing that. We might not be knocking on 60,000. We might not be. Excuse me, 70,000. We might not be, right? So, it's really about that momentum and putting it out there and making sure it doesn't disappear, because, we are the studio. We are the marketing, you know what I mean? So if we stop, it stops. It totally stops. And so, again, if you're somebody out there that sees it a lot, and maybe you go, oh God, there's that another post again, just understand that it's not forever. It's within the confines of, we're in a massive marketing campaign. Massive crowdfunding campaign. Marketing was the analogy. And so we're building it up, and we're trying to raise funds. And then, so once the campaign is, now, if we can get the campaign into demand, see, that's why it's so important. If we can raise $120,000, then the campaign goes into demand, right? And that just means that once the campaign is done, we can continue to raise money after the fact. So, which is always great. We could always use a little bit of extra, right? For, contingency, and maybe there's that scene that we cut that now we can add in, or, whatever the case is. And so you're not going to be seeing like the push that you've seen through the month of May and June. However, if we don't reach our goal, then it's likely Bruce and I will have to launch another campaign to make up the difference, right? So it is always, any filmmaker will tell you who's using Indiegogo to raise funds, you want to raise funds and you want to complete your goal and reach your goal the first time around, because it just makes things easier. It's more streamlined. You don't have to run another campaign unless you're running like a finishing funds campaign or a post-production campaign or something like that, right? That's fine. I mean, yes, sometimes you do have to do that, and we're not against that. But we want to get, our goal is to get as close to that 120,000 as we possibly can, as close as we possibly can, and hopefully reach it. And then we go into demand, and then we can take our foot off the gas and go, okay, all right. And now the movie is officially greenlit, and we move into pre-production right away. Pre-production begins July 1st. Although we are doing some pre-production things at the moment, it's important to also note too that technically the film has not been greenlit yet. This film could still not be made, right? We have to raise the production budget, or we got to raise enough to warrant maybe launching a smaller one for a shorter period of time just to make up the difference, right? But as soon as we raise our budget, or we feel that we're in a good spot, then the movie becomes officially greenlit. So, crowdfunding is a lot of work. Especially when it's something that doesn't necessarily sell itself, right? It's not Friday the 13th. It's not Halloween, right? It's Black Christmas. It's niche. It's cult. It doesn't sell itself. as a producer, you got to be doing a lot of legwork. You got to hustle. You got to hustle. You got to be out there. You got to be reaching people. That's why I'm posting about it. Hashtags, algorithms, all that kind of stuff, right? Just keeping it out there. And so far we've been very successful at it. So I appreciate everybody's patience. But yes, will the stream stop completely? No. But they will. You'll see more other horror content return on a more regular basis. Yeah, for sure. Because now we're out of the major crowdfunding, months. And again, I know 99% of the people get it, understand, like, yeah, it'd be fucking weird if you weren't on here doing that. You know what I mean? But there's always that one person that's like, listen, dude, I'm entertaining you for free. Shut up, okay? That's how I feel sometimes. All right. What do we got here? Super chat comes in from Bryce Russo, excuse me. Sends in $9.99. Thank you, Bryce. Really appreciate that. Says, hey, Dave from Boston. Yes, Boston. What's going on, Boston? Hope all is well. How do you feel about Beetlejuice 2 happening? I'm always worried about sequels happening many years after the first one. Love the channel. Take care. Well, thank you, Bryce. Really appreciate that, man. Yeah, Beetlejuice 2. So my love with Beetlejuice. Let me see here. My love with Beetlejuice. We've gone up. We have gone up, but it hasn't registered yet, I don't think. Oh, this is good. We've gone up, but I don't think it's, has it registered? Maybe it has. I'll refresh here in a second. Let me talk about Beetlejuice and then I'll refresh. So Beetlejuice. Yeah, I like Beetlejuice. Haven't watched it in a long time. So I've got to watch it again. It's been like maybe even 30 years. I've got to watch it again. But I was never like crazy on Beetlejuice. So I really couldn't care less if they made a sequel or not. Like, I couldn't care less. But I do understand that it's one of those movies that does have a cultish kind of following, that is adored. I believe it was one of, if not Tim Burton's first movies that he directed, because he did that and then he did Batman. And then he did Edward Scissorhands and all that. So it certainly helped to put Tim Burton on the map. And so I would say that, yeah, I'm not crazy on, like, I could take it or leave it, but casting Jenna Ortega, because of what she's done with Wednesday, casting her as Winona Ryder's, like, it makes sense. It makes sense. They're bringing the band back together again, right? Michael Keaton, Catherine O'Hara. I get it. I totally get it. My only concern is off the top is, I don't want to see Wednesday in Beetlejuice 2. I know Wednesday and, this is a new character, obviously. I know that she should be different from Wednesday, but both have that gothy, kind of vibe, right? Even Winona Ryder's character, was it Lydia, I think? So I just hope we don't watch Beetlejuice 2 and it's like, Jenna Ortega's just basically Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? That's really only my concern right now. I totally understand why they cast her. She's hot right now. Again, I mean in demand when I say that. And I get it. And it makes sense. She's the perfect choice for it. Are we going to get Jenna Ortega'd out? A little too saturated with Jenna Ortega? Maybe. But I'm looking forward to it. Hey, if it's good, it's good. But I could take it or leave it. That's how I kind of feel about it. All right, just a refresh here. It should have, yeah. Okay, cool. So there we are. Yes. Again, shout outs to anybody who donates to the campaign or picks up a perk. And here we have another donation from Teresa. Yes, the tea is sweet tonight. Just donated $20. Amazing. Because Teresa has picked up some perks. So tonight she was like, yeah, you know what? I don't really need anything else. I don't think so. I'm just going to donate $20. Here's $20. Amazing. Really awesome. Thank you very much, Teresa. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Man, less than $700 away from 70K. Less than $700 away from 70K. Is it possible to reach 70K tonight? That's a milestone. It is. Then that means we're 50,000 away with 1 month to go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's still lots of people, because they've told me, that haven't donated yet. You know what I mean? Maybe they're waiting for a big bonus to come in or a check or something. I don't know. But we got to have another good month. And I think we will. I believe in the McRae's. You know, when you've got people like Daniel Hyrel, who's like, dude, listen, love what you're doing. Love your channel. Not a big Billy fan for whatever reason, right? We're very proud of the film. We think the film's great. 100%. But you know what? Not everybody likes everything. There's lots of people out there that think Halloween's that don't like it either, right? So, you know, it's different strokes for different folks, right? But Daniel was like, you know what? I love what you're doing. I recognize the passion. I love that you're doing this. Like, this is amazing. You know, he sees it. He sees it, right? He's like, and I love what you do here on the channel. I want to support you, man. You know, that's awesome. And when you got people like Daniel, like that out there, you know what I mean? Like all different types of stuff, just stepping up, helping to make this happen. It means a lot. It means a lot, you know, and you know, we understand that, right? Again, I don't know why he's not a big fan, but I know for some people, it's me, Billy, because of the style of horror movie it is, right? It's that slow burn, pensive, you know, and then we get into the action and then it ends on a massive, I think, and I'm not saying Daniel, because again, I don't want to speak for him, but I think for some people who may have been maybe a little lukewarm on chapter 1 because it just kind of ends and it's like, oh, that's it. Oh, it ended when it was just getting good, or, you know, whatever the case is. I think when you see chapter 2, you're going to go, and it's going to make chapter 1 that much better for you, right? Because, you know, you only have the first half of the movie, right? Like realistically, right? So once you see how it unfolds and how it ends, and then you get to see Sam's arc complete, right? Now she has a complete arc. You got Olivia in there, and you got the whole thing going on, and I get it. You know what I mean? So I think for some people who maybe were like, oh, that's it. I think it's really going to help you appreciate chapter 1 that much more, because then you're seeing everything in its context. And then you'll see things in chapter 1 where you're like, I get it. And listen, you know, streaming can be like that, right? You know, it's like watching an episode and then having, you know what I'm saying? You know, or it's like watching a movie, right? Where you know there's another one coming, but it's like, I'm not really sure. And then sometimes you watch the next one, right? The sequel, and you're like, oh, it makes part 1 so much better now. You know what I mean? Because now you have the full picture, right? So, and again, I'm not saying that is going to happen, but those things do happen. And I could see that as a potential thing that sometimes happens for people that felt that It's Me, Billy chapter 1 just kind of ended and it was like, and things are incomplete. And it's like, well, yeah, it feels incomplete. Because it is. It just kind of ended because it did. You know what I mean? Of course, it was always designed to be that way. It's cool shit, man. It's cool shit. But also too, it's cut from a different cloth of storytelling than something like a Halloween or a Friday or something like that, right? It's more of that moody, atmospheric, slow burn kind of stuff, like Black Christmas. Some of the best compliments we've ever gotten are from Black Christmas fans that say that, even some non-fans that say, this really does feel like it lives in the same universe. It feels like a natural extension of the original. You know, it's professional through and through, top to. It feels like I'm watching the sequel, and that's some of the best. That's some of the best compliments we can get, because it tells us all that hard work, because all of that is intentional. It's not by accident, right? All that hard work through the writing and the execution, and the performances and the direction of the story and all that has paid off. And of course, we hope that happens again with chapter 2. Thank you, Bryce. Again, appreciate that. Tyler Singleton says, Dave, I appreciate your grind with getting this made. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's look, if I'm not out there doing it, I have the time. I do most of my work from home as a professional voice actor, as an independent contractor, so to speak, right? I don't have a 9-to-5 job. So it is a lot easier for me, to be able to do these things like this, you know what I mean? And so that's why I'm capitalizing on it. And I know that, again, if if you tune in to every stream that I do and you hear me saying the same things over and over again, that just means you're a loyal viewer, and I thank you for watching. But I do know that there's lots of different people that watch me at different times, right? You know what I mean? Maybe depending on the topic, maybe depending on if they're off work, maybe depending on the time of day, things like that, right? So you got to do these streams. You have to do them. I'm trying to reach as many people as I can to make this a reality, and because we can't let this opportunity slip by. I mean, to have Olivia Hussey on board to return to the world of Black Christmas, this is huge, guys. This is like Laurie Strode returning to a Halloween fan film. Excuse me, Jamie Lee Curtis. That's exactly what this is. So I'm going to do everything in my power to fight and make sure that we get this done. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what I'm doing. And I want to hype people up. I want to reach new people. I want to get it out there and keep it out there until we're in a good spot where we're like, okay, now we can do this. You know what I mean? So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for being patient with me through this process and seeing this build and being a part of this. Hey, listen, you're a part of this right now. You are a part of this. And it's really awesome and it's really cool. So, yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. 69,679, 583 backers. Oh my God. Folks, I wanted to hit that button, but I want to save it for the milestone if we do it. We're now at 58%. We are knocking on 70,000 Canadian Billy Bucks. We are knocking on 60% of the production budget sold. Holy snap and crap. 583 backers. Who was this that stepped up? Let's give them a shout out. Let's do it. We've got, okay, now, PJ, it's PJ Wilson. PJ Wilson is, hey, he's from my neck of the woods. Very cool indeed. That's awesome. PJ picked up the online advanced premiere. I love it. You picked it up, buddy. Yeah, that's a great perk. And because of PJ who picked it up, there should now be about 23 of those available. That's a great perk, guys. Just so you know, again, if you don't have to, you certainly don't have to. But for those of you that may want to see what it is, oh my God, we're getting close, baby. We're getting close, baby. We're going to fuck it. We'll do it live. Let me see here. The advanced screening perk. Oh, that's cool too. I'll go there. Where are we here? Advanced. There it is. Advanced screening perk. Again, that's 350 Canadian Billy Bucks. That's probably about 250 American Billy Bucks. 7 out of 30 claimed. This is the advanced screening. So you get to see It's Me Billy Chapter 2 before anybody else. You'll be one of 30 people before anybody else to see it. And it will be a stream like this one, obviously a private stream with some of the cast and crew. I will be there. Bruce will be there. We all watch it together. It plays on the screen, and then there's a Q&A afterwards. It's pretty awesome stuff. And with it, you also get the special thanks, obviously, as you do with any perk that you pick up, your name in the end credits. You get the digital download package, which is awesome. You get, a high resolution copy of the official poster, a digital copy of the script, a digital copy of the movie in full HD, and high resolution promotional images for It's Me Billy Chapter 1 and 2, and the online advanced premiere. Like, pretty cool. Oh, and an It's Me Billy Chapter 2 t-shirt and the Blu-ray. Like, I mean, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome stuff. So I'm hoping we can sell more of those, because it would be great to have more people at the advanced premiere. So very cool indeed. I mean, listen, if it's just these 7 people in the cast, hey, we're going to party like it. We're going to fucking party like it's nobody's business. But yeah, really cool. If you want to see it before anybody else, that's a great perk, guys. That's a great perk. Don't sleep on that one. That's awesome. And this is awesome too. Again, now this is limited, okay? The quantity is limited and the sizes are limited, okay? This is out of my hands, but we've partnered with Amalia of Poltergeist and Paramours, who makes an exact replica sweater of the one that Jess Bradford wore in the original Black Christmas. There she is there. Olivia Hussey as Jess Bradford. Now the ones that Amalia, are unisex, okay? Which is why I have the guy on there as well. You see the guy there? He's on there as well. These are unisex guys. I know that, like 95% of my viewers are men, so don't worry. You're not going to be wearing girly shirts. This is unisex, but this is great. This is niche. This is not something you can buy in stores at all. This is very niche. Comes in size small. There's only 5 available. Comes in medium. 1 was picked up, so there's 4 left. Comes in large. 2 were picked up, so there's only 3 left on that. And it comes in a 1 extra large. 2 were picked up, so there's only 3 available on that. So I'm just saying, it's a pretty cool thing. Quantity and sizes are limited, but maybe you know somebody who might want it or whatever. Not really sure, but yeah, cool, awesome indeed. A couple super chats came in. Let me get these super chats. Let me see here. We got PJ, 22 Canadian Billy Bucks says, hey Dave, fellow Canuck in film and TV, appreciate how much work it is to raise money for a show, let alone a self-funded project. Been enjoying your streams and stepping up for my first donation. More to come later. Amazing. Thank you, PJ. Really appreciate that, man. I really do. It's tough. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. When you're not backed by a studio and you're not quite sure where the money is going to come from. And again, because we don't own the intellectual property for this. I mean, we are delivering a professional product through and through from top to bottom. It's Me Billy. It's Me Billy Chapter 2, like Chapter 1, will look professional, sound pro, totally pro. Like, if you had seen it on the TV, you'd think you'd walked in and you were watching something on Prime. I mean, it's going to look totally pro, but because we don't own the intellectual property for Black Christmas and it's not officially sanctioned, so to speak, it's tricky to seek funding from official sources, grants and all that kind of stuff, because there's rules and regulations around sort of what your project needs to be and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes, especially when you're doing a fan film like this, even though we're doing it totally pro, the only way is to crowdfund. But it's really cool at the same time because it gets everybody on board. It really is from the fans for the fans. It's really awesome. And there's perks, there's incentives, right? Like PJ just picked up the advanced screening perk. That's awesome. He gets to see the movie before anybody else, but he also gets a t-shirt and a Blu-ray and the digital download package. And I mean, it's awesome. And his name in the end credits. It's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, PJ, thanks, man. Awesome, fellow Canuck. Appreciate that. And then Josh Lott, one of our producers here on It's Me Billy Chapter 2, love it, sends in another very generous super chat of $20. Thank you, Josh, and says, sorry I missed the discussion earlier, but here are my top 5 Halloween characters. Rachel, Tommy Doyle, Lindsay Wallace, Lonnie Elam, and Sheriff Meeker. That's a good list. Yep, that's a good list, man. That's a good list. Yeah, mine were Hawkins, Marion Chambers, Rachel Carruthers, Sheriff Meeker, and John Strode. John Strode from Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Thank you, Josh. You've heard Josh or Joshua? I keep wanting to say both, but whatever. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Let me see here. We're still $583, $69,679. We are less than $250 away from 70,000 Canadian Billy Bucks. Man, oh man. And then that means we're only 10,000 away from where I would like to be this time next week at minimum, which is 80. So it's the grind, man. It's the grind. It's the grind, baby. It's the grind. It's the grind. Michael Dammit says need 150 US more. Yeah, about that. You're right. Yep, you're right. You're totally right. Let me see here. What do we got here? We got Stephen Poirier says, boy, are you loud? I am loud. I'm loud. I'm loud, baby. I am loud. It's the way it is. Let me see here. A.B. James says, Dave, is the Chapter 2 screenplay already written? Yes. Oh, yeah. It was completed. We're doing little minor tweaks and things like that, but it was completed essentially a few months ago. So it's done. It is, I think, a page or two shorter than Chapter 1. That doesn't mean necessarily the movie will be shorter. I mean, obviously there's always that golden rule, right? A minute a page. But that all depends on how much dialogue you have on a page, how much action there is in a page. And when I say action, I don't mean like, Indiana Jones action. I just mean action like, characters moving through the space. Obviously for chapter 1, it was about a 23.5 page script, I believe. But the movie was 38 minutes long without credits, 42 minutes long with credits. But that's also because, we're building a lot of mood and a lot of tension. We're taking our time with the shots. Sam is walking through the house, all that kind of stuff. On paper, you could read through that in 30 seconds, but in the movie, it might take her 2.5 minutes to walk through the space, right? Which that oneer does. There's a terrific oneer in our first chapter. For those of you that don't know what that means, that just means the camera doesn't cut. And the oneer is about 2 minutes long. And Sam gets out of bed. She walks down the hall. We pivot the camera. She gets, she is checking on Justine. She walks down the stairs all the way to the front door. It's one of my favorite shots that we did. And but anyway, I digress. The Billy chapter 2 script, I think, is 21 pages, I think. So it's comparable. It's comparable. So yeah, no, it's been done. It's been done for a few months. Again, we're always sort of tweaking a little, here or there, but it's been done for a few months. Bobby's brother says, Dave, you have my deep respect for being annoying with It's Me Billy too, for being so patient and persistent to promote. It takes so much energy to do it and to go through the ups and downs of a campaign. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Listen, I mean, it's not lost on me how much I'm promoting, right? But I'm relying on my... And again, 98% of you, 99%, you get it. Like you would be like, if we launched the campaign on May the 1st and I hardly talked about it, you all would probably be going, shouldn't Dave be talking about it? You know what I mean? Yeah, but I gotta do it. I gotta be out there. You have to be selling it. Again, it's not Friday the 13th. It's not Halloween. It doesn't necessarily sell itself. It's something that you gotta hustle, and you gotta be out there, and you gotta look at your analytics, and you gotta find out when your viewers are on, and because there's always new people tuning in all the time, all that kind of jazz. So yeah, I have to be annoying for the duration of the campaign because we're trying to raise money, and if we don't raise the money, the movie does not happen. Period. End of discussion. There is no return of Jess Bradford. So I'm not going to let this opportunity slip away. Bruce and I worked our asses off to make this a reality, and I'm not going to let this, I'm going to do if it slips away, I'm going out like I'm going out on a fight, right? Like I'm going to fight to the death, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got to promote. I got to keep it out there in the horror space, in the zeitgeist. So it's picked up by the hashtags, it's picked up by the algorithms, and it's always there. So yeah, it takes a lot of hustle, man. It takes a lot of hustle. It does. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Have I got all the super chats? Let me see. I think I've got all the super chats. Yeah, Josh Lott. Did Josh say Josh or Joshua? It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but let me see here. Oh, we got a Halloween question. I got to get that. Halloween. Bobby Hall. Dave, did you notice when Michael kills the woman with the hammer in H18, the sound effect of it hitting her happens too early? I don't think there was enough time for him to raise his arm and hit her. I didn't notice that, but that could also be because I've only seen Halloween 2018 I saw it at the world premiere here in Toronto. I saw it again at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood when I was there in 2018. I was there for the Voice Arts Awards, not at the Chinese Theater, but in Hollywood. And Louis Lecca of the Nerd Report. Louis, love you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. He treated me to an advanced screening of it. I think it was like releasing like 2 days later or something. Saw it there. Watched it again with Tony, I think, on Two Dudes. I must have watched it again maybe like maybe before Kills came out or something like that. Or I've probably seen it like maybe 4 times, but I haven't seen it probably in a couple years. Whenever the last time I watched it on like a Two Dudes or whatever it was, that's the last time I've watched it. So I haven't watched it that many times. So no, I didn't notice that, but thank you for bringing it to my attention. I will see if I feel the same way when I watch it again. See if I feel the same way. Ooh, we're still sitting there, folks. We're still sitting at 69,679. Can we get to 70? Is it possible before the stream ends today? Before the stream ends today, can we see lucky number 7 on that screen? I should be a game show host. Anybody out there looking for, hey, I have a Price is Right story. Have you guys heard my Price is Right story? Maybe some of you have, maybe some of you haven't. So in 2015, I'll try to keep this short. I know some of you have heard it, but I think this is really cool. Some of you probably haven't. In 2015, myself and my better half, my lovely lady, we went to, it was my very first time being nominated for a Voice Arts Award. So for those of you that don't know what that is, that's like, the Oscars for voice acting. And so I've been nominated 4 times now, which is great. But the award show is held every year at Warner Brothers Studios in Hollywood. And so I was very excited. I was nominated. For Best, where is it? It's behind, my nominations are behind Best National Television Promo. So very excited, got to, walk the red carpet. William Shatner was the keynote speaker. Really awesome stuff. On our last day there, myself and my lady decide to, let's do something fun. Let's do something very touristy. Okay. So we got tickets. They're free, but you get tickets to The Price is Right. Drew Carey, The Price is Right. So we're there and we had really good seat. Like we were like center, and obviously it's not live to air, it's live to tape. Right. And so it was during a commercial break. And they're rearranging the set, bringing out the new game and things like that. And Drew Carey is speaking to the audience and he's just talking to everybody. And I guess because I was right in his eye line, like I'm like center, he's like, where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. What do you do? And I just said, I'm Dave. I'm from Toronto, Canada. And, he's like, oh, we got a Canuck here, doing the old, I used to say Canada, even though hardly anybody talks like that up here. But, it's it'd be like, anyways, I could go off on a tangent. Oh, welcome, eh? You're like, yeah, hey, oot and a boot. Yeah. But I said, he asked what I did. And I said, well, I'm a professional voice actor. And he's like, oh, professional voice actor. I don't know if he just thought, oh, sure, professional voice actor. But then he turned to his announcer and he's like, oh, we got because his announcers, the announcers of voice, we got a voice actor here, whatever. So he then asked me to, not come up on stage, but he got down off the stage. This is a true story. He got down off the stage, asked me to come over to him. So I was like, it's fucking wild. Sure, great, I'll do it. He's like, come on over here, come on, and the audience is like, I wish I could have a copy of this. But it wasn't part of the show. It was during the commercial, so it wasn't taped, right? I don't think. So anyways, I go up, I shake Drew Carey's hand and he's like, I want you to say, George Gray, come on down. Now, George Gray, I don't know if he still is, but he was the announcer of The Price is Right at the time. And I'm like, okay. So I take the little, how they have, he has that thin microphone. I take the microphone into my hand. The audience is all hushed, right? They're waiting for me. I don't know if Drew didn't, I don't know what he thought at all. So I just basically, I didn't know what to do. So instead of just saying, George Gray, come on down, as a professional, I knew I needed a lead-in line to get into character. So I just turned to the audience and I went, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Price is Right. George Gray, come on down. just something crazy like that, right? Well, the whole audience erupted in cheers, and Drew Carey was literally, I'm not making this up, he was literally on the floor in the fetal position, laughing. Not laughing because it was up, but I don't think he expected it to be that good. I think he was like, oh yeah, voice actor, sure, come on and do this. I don't think he expected me to actually do it. It was really cool. It was such a cool experience. And of course I milked it. I mean, I extended that, come on! I really extended that, right? Just for show, right? And so then the executive producer of The Price is Right, I don't know if he still is, but it was a gentleman by the name of Adam Sandler, not that Adam Sandler, a completely different Adam Sandler, came out from the back and shook my hand and was like, that was great, dude. Like, that was amazing. And I was like, well, listen, I mean, if George, like, if you need, you know, I'm probably cheaper. I just, you know, it was a joke, obviously, you know, but a really cool experience, you know, and totally a job that I could do. I could also do Drew Carey's job. Like I could totally host a game show, 100%. I'm good with people. I'm good with interacting. I'm good on the spot. I'm good with improv. I'm good with all that. I totally could do that. So it was very comfortable for me to be in that environment and to just do it. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't, you know, I'm a professional. I've been doing this for, you know, years. I just know what to do. So, but it was still wild. It was really cool. And here's the crazy thing. Out of all the years The Price is Right has been around, how many other people, other than The Price is Right announcer, whether it's Rob Roddy, or whatever that guy was way back in the Bob Barker days, George Gray, out of all the announcers they've had over the years, how many other people in that studio, other than the announcer, have actually been able to say that to the audience? Come on. I might be the only one. I don't know. I mean, how many other people? I mean, there's got to be some contestants somewhere that have been able to do that. I don't know. But anyways, it was a very cool experience and something I've never forgotten. Most of my viewers, I think, probably know that. But if you're new to my channel or fairly new, you probably don't. But that was the icing on the cake. I obviously did not win the award at the Voice Arts Awards. I've been nominated 4 times now, and the first time I was nominated, and I say this with all due respect to the woman who won, but I think I should have won. I think I should have won. The other times I was nominated, I'm like, yeah, totally. Could totally go either way. Totally go either way. But the first nomination, I will always think, nah, I was better. I was better. Just saying. The others, yeah, totally. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, it could have gone either way. When the other individual won, I was like, yeah, totally awesome, well-deserved, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, that was really icing on the cake for that trip, you know, to be able to do that and in front of everybody, you know what I mean? So I'll never forget it. It would have been November of 2015 was the taping, and then the show we were on probably aired in like January or something. I actually have a clip when it did air, because I took a picture of us off the TV, and you can see me with my little hat, not a ball cap, but it's a little fedora, and I got a Price is Right t-shirt on, and I'm, you know, you can see me in the audience going like, you know, it was really fun. But it's too bad that wasn't part of the show, because that would have been really cool. That would have been really cool to see that. Would have been really cool. All right. Well, it looks like we're gonna cap off the stream at $69,679. Knocking on 70 and 583 backers. We're coming up to 2 hours here in 2 minutes, and I don't like to have these McRae live streams really any longer than 90 minutes. I kept the stream going thinking that maybe we'll be able to get to 70K before the end of the stream, but that's okay. That's okay. We are almost there. Which is really good. To be there right now, almost at 70K is really good. So I'm very happy with that nonetheless. The Violator 862 sends in $4.99 and says, it's really cool to see how far It's Me Billy Chapter 2 has come in this short amount of time. My favorite Halloween character besides Michael is, Carl Cochran. Yes, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I love it. That's a great character. Yep, that's definitely a great character. Absolutely. And yeah, no, it's great to see the support. It really is. You know, you guys are stepping up. You're doing what you can to help make this a reality. And the only thing I would say, again, to people like Daniel or to people like who maybe don't care about Billy, are not interested, do it for me. Do it for me. That's all I ask, is just do it for me. You know what I mean? It would mean a lot to me, and it would mean a lot to the cast and crew. Obviously, you don't have to do it. I respect that, and I respect what you do with your money. But it would mean a lot. If you're looking for a way to say, hey man, thanks for, you know, the channel or, you know, whatever, this is the way to do it. This is the way you can thank me. I don't see that money. It doesn't go to me. It goes into making the movie. But that's what I want. That's the best thing you could do for me at this stage right now, is to help make this film a reality. So, but yeah, really appreciate that. The Violator, thank you so much. Hopefully you're not violating too much. Want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, now let me go back. I didn't miss any super chats, right? I don't think I've missed any super chats. No, Josh. And I did see that Josh is fine. Oh, yeah, there. Josh sent in $5. Thank you, Josh. Says, Josh is fine, so people don't think I'm a... Gotcha. Okay, Josh. Gotcha. All right, Josh. Gotcha. Amazing. All right, folks. Well, listen, that's going to do it for episode 213 of McRae Live. Thank you to my amazing moderators, Frank Riker, Tabitha Shore, Darren Sands, Chris Baber, and Cody Snyder, and Andrew Stevens for doing what you guys do. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of the super chat questions that came in today as well. I really appreciate those. And hey, if you're watching after the fact, or you're watching live right now, once the stream is done, jump into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on who your favorite Halloween 5 characters are outside of the traditional Halloween characters that are going to be on everybody's list, which of course is Dr. Loomis, Laurie Strode, Michael Myers, and Jamie Lloyd. Who outside of Jamie, Laurie, Michael, and Dr. Loomis, who are your favorite Halloween characters? Give me a top 5. Don't give me a 10. Give me a 5. Challenge yourself. Be decisive. Oh, I don't know what to do. I sound like Bill Cosby. Too many drinks. But yeah, let me know. Oh, hey, we had PJ sends in $11 going hard into the paint right at the very end at the buzzer. PJ says, hit refresh and play the music. Thanks. Oh, no way, PJ. No way. PJ, you didn't. PJ, you did, PJ! Oh, there it is. 70,000 Canadian Billy Bucks. Whoa, my God, we have done it. We have hit 7. Look at that. Look at that number. Tell me that number doesn't get you going. Tell me that number doesn't make you want to go out and run into the street naked, waving your pants over your head, screaming, I'm a banshee, running around. That makes you want to run naked, doesn't it? Tell me. It absolutely does. 70,000 Canadian Billy Bucks. PJ, was that you? It must have been you. PJ comes in. No. Oh, it was. But it was PJ and it was Michael Lawrence picking up the Billy 2 teaser cover. Oh my God. Unbelievable. Incredible. Let's play that again. PJ comes in with a $321 donation. Well, you know what? Then we must be more than that, because that's what probably brought us to, yes. So PJ, I was right. PJ brings us to $70,000. Michael Lawrence brings us to $70,060. We are less than $2,000 away from 60% of the production budget being raised. Less than 2,000 Billy Bucks away. $70,060. Shout out to PJ Wilson, who brought us there, who brought us over in this milestone right to $70,000. Shout out to Michael Lawrence, who brings us over over $70,000 to $70,060. And shout out to every single one of you who have donated so far to the It's Me Billy Chapter 2 Indiegogo campaign. We are rocking. There are 32 days left. We have had an incredible month of May. We got to have another incredible month of June, but we are now $50,000. Sounds like a lot, and it is, but we're making it. We're putting dents. We're slowly, we're digging, we're denting, we're making gains. Incredible. Holy snapping crap, ladies and gentlemen. This is great. I love seeing that 7. I love seeing that 7. We are doing it. We are doing it. We are slowly but surely doing it. Amazing. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. You guys are making this a reality. I've said it before. I will say it again. It's not hyperbole. PJ knows what I'm talking about. It really is from the fans, for the fans. Crowdfunding, without you, it isn't possible. It isn't possible. You are making this a reality. It is so great to be less than $2,000 away now from 60% of our production budget with a month to go. Amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of McRae Live 213, I should say. And like I said, if you jump into the comment section below, let me know your thoughts on who your top 5 favorite Halloween characters are that are not named Michael, Laurie, Dr. Loomis, or Jamie. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can. There are my links right there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all my links, my lakes? Yeah, I own quite a few lakes. All my links are in the description. Check them out until your heart's content. And when your heart is content, check them out again. And don't forget, even when I'm not streaming, you can jump on and donate to the campaign. Even when I'm not on here, we got to at least have a simmer. There's got to be at least a simmer of fire. At least a simmer of fire. Have a great night, folks, on your Monday, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.